my name is Elizabeth, this is Frizzy Lizzie Stitches, and this is Flosstube number 72. Hello everyone, so today is February the 15th, 2025, and happy Valentine's Day. I know it's technically the day after, but still. There's like this thing on my camera that lets me know if it's crooked, and it's telling me it's crooked. Eee! Okay, now it's straight. It looks the same to me, but now the line's gone. So anyway, how are we doing? I think it's been 3 weeks since my last update. Things have been like weird video wise for me because I had so many videos in a row because of the whip parade and the finish parade, and this was like the first time that I actually had like a few weeks where I didn't actually have a video go up, so it feels a little weird for me, but this is the normal. So anyway, I have quite a bit of stuff to talk about and show today. I have cross stitch and knitting, and then I also have some haul and then just like general chit chat stuff. I have finished a couple books since my last video, so probably will chat about those for a second. And yeah, how many projects do I have today? I have 2 FFOs, which you can kind of see behind me. And then I also have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cross stitch projects to show you. That's kind of crazy. And then I have 2 knitting projects. So yeah. Also, I'm just very excited about the aesthetic of Valentine's Day, that I went all out with my heart button up, and I also did these press-ons yesterday, which are so cute. So yeah, I'm feeling cutesy and girly today, and I'm excited to show you what I've been working on. So let's start with my FFOs. So first things first, I stitched these projects, like one of them 2 years ago and one of them last year. So the one that I stitched first was Mr. Ralph. This is a frosted pumpkin stitchery pattern called Love Letters, and I think they sell the patterns like separately, but you can also buy them together. So this is Ralph and this is Ruby, and I've started this February 11th of 2023 and then finished it February 13th of 2023, and I FFO'd this last night. And then Ruby over here, I stitched her February 2nd, 2024 and finished her February 29th, 2024, and finished fully finishing her this morning before I started to film today's video. So anyway, these are FFO'd into cute little pillows. I have them stuffed with lizard litter or crushed walnut shells, whatever you want to call it. They have some Lady Dot Creates velveteen on the back. I believe this is the color Chili. And I also sewed on, cover up my eyes so it'll focus. I sewed on some Lady Dot Creates pom pom trim in the color Snow. And these are so stinking cute. They feel like little bean bags, like you could play, what's that game? Cornhole or something. Very bougie girly cornhole. But anyway, yeah, that's what they're looking like. They are both stitched on the same fabric, even though it kind of looks like they're different fabrics. This fabric is 36 count Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers Summer Soiree, and I stitched both of these 2/2 with all the called for DMC, and I think they look so sweet. They're so cute. And then this kind of will lead me into, I'm gonna go ahead and talk about my Galentine's swap, because that also is an FFO that I don't have with me because it was gifted. And then you can see right here what I got in the swap. So let's talk about that now. Okay, so since we're on the topic of frosted pumpkin and raccoons, I will show you what I got in the swap, which is this adorable chart. My friend Maddie of Kitty Stitch got me in our little Galentine swap. The people who were all in this swap were you know, the girlies. So it was me, Megan from the Seattle Stitcher, Brijin from the Museum Stitcher, Cam from Cam Stitcher, Marjorie from Marjorie Made, Rachel from Lemonade Stitching, and Maddie from Kitty Stitch. And so Maddie drew my name, and so she stitched me this adorable Frosted Pumpkin chart. I'm not sure what the actual name of it is, but it says True Love, and it has this little baby raccoon in the middle who's dressed up like, he looks like a postman, like he's delivering love letters. And there's a little mailbox, and it is so precious, finished on this little wooden, I don't know, it has like a little hook on the back. I think this came, yeah, it says it came from Hobby Lobby. And so I think she just finished, like covered this red fabric, I think is like stretched over like mat board, and glued it on top of whatever design this board had on it. But yeah, it's so cute. And it totally matches my little Ruby and Ralph. And I like to joke around now that this little dude is Ruby and Ralph. Wait, let me hold this a bit different. How can I hold all of them together? I feel like this is Ruby and Ralph's like nephew or like son or something. But they all look so cute together. So anyway, it's very exciting and I love it very much. Let's get this back up here. There we go. Look how cute they are. I love it. Okay, so as far as what I stitched for the swap, I got Megan, and so I picked out this Plum Street Samplers chart called Fraktur Friends. Piper's rolling around on her tower, so if you hear some racket, that's what it is. But this is the chart that I picked out to stitch for Megan. This is the, I did my own like color and cotton floss conversion, so these are the flosses that I ended up picking to use for this chart, which I think was, in my humble opinion, a wonderful conversion. So yeah, I obviously don't have the swap with me anymore because it is now with Megan, but I did film like a little clip of me showing the finish up close and kind of talking about how I finished it and the materials I used. So I will insert that clip right now. Hello. So I'm gonna be inserting this clip into my next Flosstube video, but I wanted to show you what I've been calling my secret stitch for the past several months now. This is Fraktur Friends by Plum Street Samplers, and this is what I stitched for my friend Megan for our little Galentine swap. So Megan didn't know, none of us knew who each other had, but I ended up getting Megan, and so I chose this pattern specifically for her. I felt like it matched her aesthetic, and I think my favorite part about this chart are the little checkered wings on these birds. I think it's really, really cute. It did say like 1808 or something down here, and I did change it to 1995 because that's the year Megan was born. And I finished it into this little pillow. I filled it mostly with the like crushed walnut shells or the lizard litter or whatever you want to call it. And I did put like a little bit of polyfill in the corners. And I finished it with this little sunflower fabric on the back that I got from Joanne. And then I stitched this little tag to sew onto the back of the pillow. And then this was my first time using pom-pom trim, and so I used a tutorial from Helen D to figure out how I was supposed to, number one, take the pom-pom off of the tape, and number two, stitch it onto the edge of the pillow. So I will link that tutorial below in case you've never finished a pillow with pom-pom trim before. But I think this color is called like barn something. It's a lady.create, but this floss is a color and cotton conversion, which I didn't bring the floss over for this clip, so I'll just mention that in my next Flosstube video. And then the fabric is Picture This Plus 40 count in, I believe, vellum. So yeah, that's what my small ended up looking like, and I'm so excited for Megan to unwrap this and see her reaction, because it was fun to stitch and I'm obsessed with this little pillow. It feels really nice with the walnut shells in there. But yep, that is my secret stitch. So yeah, our little swap exchange was so much fun. I'll pop a picture up here of like our little Zoom photo. But we drew names for each other, like, I don't know, I think back in like August of 2024. And then we like finished and started shipping out all of our smalls about like the week before Valentine's Day. And then we got on Zoom and we went one by one and each opened up our smalls, and it was so much fun. We're already talking about doing it again for like fall themed swap. So anyway, if you have a group of Stitchy friends, I highly encourage you to do a swap exchange within your little friend group because it was so much fun. But yeah, so let's get into my whips. Okay, I did arrange these in order of what I worked on like immediately after my last video up until now. Thanks to my Notion, I was able to create a field that says like last worked on, and it'll like pull that information from my stitching log and show me the last day that I worked on that project. So I was able to sort by that to put all my projects in order that I worked on between last video and this one. So the first thing that I worked on since my last video was a Greenhouse of Oddities by Lola Cross Stitch, and this is what the pattern is going to look like. And this is what it would have looked like in my last update, and which I don't know when that would have been, but it doesn't really matter. So anyway, this is what my project looks like now. I'm stitching mine on 36 count Fox and Rabbit linen in the color Oyster Shell. And I'm using 2/2 DMC, which is the called for. And I started this when the sale was going on, which was April of 2023. And since between last video and this video, let's see, I stitched on it for 1,211 stitches. So I was kind of aiming to like fill in the rest of the stitching in the bottom center part of the greenhouse. And then I started creeping up here to work on this really massive tree that is honestly kind of confetti heavy. But yeah, it's looking really great. I've at the point where like I'm just saving the back stitch for the end because Pattern Keeper doesn't show the back stitch, and I really don't want to have to keep like swapping between Pattern Keeper and my PDF pattern to look at the back stitch. So I'm just gonna save it all to the end. I did do the back stitch on this owl when I was like the sale was happening and that part came out because he kind of looks like just a blob of stitches without his back stitch, but everything else, nothing else is backstitched. I will save that to the end. And yeah, that's how it's looking. I do have a goal to pull this back out this month and get another 1,200 stitches in. I have not done that yet, but we're only halfway through February, so it's not too late for me to meet that goal. All right, the next project that I worked on, it was at the end of January, and I had met all my goals, and I was like, I'm gonna treat myself and just work on one of my random whips. And so that ended up being a sampler garden because I had the least amount of progress on it, and I really wanted to see how my colors were going to be looking because I did a custom color conversion on this chart. So also I've moved this into my beautiful Taylor Swift project bag, which is made by Jasmine Custom Bags, and I'm obsessed. It's gorgeous, and this rainbow zipper is like my favorite part. But anyway, so this is what Sampler Garden looks like. This is a chart by Modern Folk Embroidery, and this is what it would have looked like the last time I showed it to you in my whip parade. I don't want to lose anything. Okay, this is still on the Q-snap because I was kind of thinking I would work on this again in February if I met all my goals on time. So this is what it looks like. Which, let me put this behind here because it is, there we go. So that's what mine is looking like. This fabric is 36 count Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers. And what is this fabric called actually? I haven't shown it enough to know what it's, oh, I have it over here. Ashes to Ashes is the color name. I'm gonna remember that now. And I'm doing my own crazy color conversion. When I was at Stitch North last year, I took advantage of having access to all the Roxy Floss Co. and I just made this wild color conversion for this chart. So these are my flosses. They're very bright and colorful, and I freaking love how it's turning out. When I first started this, I was so excited to start it that I bought fabric while I was at Stitch North, but I went for like a light color and it really just wasn't looking right because a lot of the colors I picked were so pastel. So when I got home, I was like, let me see what I have that would maybe look better with these. And I found this fabric in my stash and I think it looks so good. It's popping. I am stitching, so this is 36 count. Usually I like to use 2 strands on 36 because I just really love that graphic, like full coverage look. But when I bought these flosses, I only bought enough to do 1 strand. So, and then I had bought a 40 count fabric. So anyway, I am stitching with 1 strand on 36, so that's something new for me. But I really love how it's looking. I think it works well for this particular pattern because it is more like a sampler, and so I feel like it's okay for it to look more sparse. But I am just obsessed with this, and I hope that I am able to work on it some more this month because these colors are so beautiful. This teal color is called Cyan Aura. This fuchsia is called Back to the Fuchsia. This lavender lilac color is called Daydream, I think. Yeah. And then this like light hot pink is called Girly Girl. So that's what I'm working with. And I think it looks great. And I'm excited to see more of this come to life. This bag is incredible because it freaking holds, like you saw that Q-snap. That was an 8x11 Q-snap. And I was able to very comfortably stick it in here. And like, it just is great. Anyway, have to brag. All right, next project that I worked on was Skipjack Sampler. I did complete my goal for this for February, which is awesome. So this is what the pattern looks like. It's by Ardith Design, and this is what it would have looked like last time I showed it to you. And this is what it looks like now. Sorry that it's so wrinkly. This fabric is 36 count Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers in the color I Lilac You a Lot. And I'm using a Roxy Floss Co. conversion that I also picked out while I was at Stitch North last year. And this is a stitch along that I started with my friends who were also at Stitch North last year. How many times can I say Stitch North last year? And I'm trying to finish it before I go to Stitch North this year. So yeah, so in the boat it said oysters, but I switched it out to say my initials and the year. And this color, this hot pink color is called Wham Bam, and I'm obsessed. It's gorgeous. These are my Roxy Floss Co. flosses. They just look so good on this bright purple fabric, and I'm obsessed. So I'm gonna keep plugging away at this so I can hopefully have it finished before I go to Stitch North, which is gonna be like the first weekend of May. So I've got this scheduled to be an April finish if I keep to my goals. What else about this? I think since the last video, I worked on this for 1,289 stitches. So I think I had finished out this boat, and then I started on this sail, and I did like this post in the middle. I don't really know boat anatomy. The mast? I don't know. Anyway, it's looking great. It's really cute, and I love it. All right, so the next project that I worked on was Sweetheart Campfire. This actually was, let's see, I had finished, I actually can't quite remember what happened in my last video. I don't remember if I had finished my January goal or not, but my January goal, complete. February goal is almost done. I have like 600 something more stitches left for February, but this is what this is going to look like. And this is what it would have looked like the last time I showed it to you. And then this is what it looks like now. So since the last video, I have stitched 1,482 stitches, and I'm currently at 14.07%. And I'm very proud that I have been meeting my goals so far for this. This definitely is a labor of love because it's one of those things where sometimes it's not what I want to work on, but when I do work on it, I'm like, oh yeah, that's so much progress. And then I think about how much I have left to go and I'm like, it's gonna take me forever. So anyway, but it's looking great. That's just the nature of full coverage. I don't think I mentioned, this is artwork by Thomas Kinkade. This is what, I already showed you what it looked like, but I did print out this cute little photo so that I can have this while I'm stitching so I can remember what I'm working towards. Now I guess one thing to say, typically I've been stitching this in a diagonal, and that's still partially true, but I'm getting to this area in the chart where, actually I can use this because you can kind of see how the tree line comes down, and then that's kind of in the area that I'm in. You can see like this tree right here is this really dark tree right here. And so anyway, it's naturally wanting to curve down with like, so I'm kind of just like going where the colors take me, just because there are so much full washes of color that parking all those threads was going to be kind of annoying. So anyway, I kind of was also just annoyed with having all the parked threads everywhere. So this is what I've done so far. That's not to say that I'm never going to park again, but it has been nice to just stitch until that thread is gone and cut it off and then go back to my diagonal and pick another thread and stitch until the thread is gone, etc. So yeah, that's kind of how we're looking. And I don't know, I guess I'm just gonna keep it in this position until I fill in most of this Q-snap. And then I think when I move the Q-snap again, I will move down into the other corner and maybe work on Minnie and Mickey some, because you can't see it because it's covered up, but when I was in that area of the Q-snap last, I did start on Minnie Mouse, so it might be fun to go back to that when I move the Q-snap again. But anyway, that's how Sweetheart Campfire is looking. Okay, and then the last cross-stitch project I worked on was actually one that I didn't have like set aside to work on this month, but I decided to work on it yesterday because it was Valentine's Day, and this is my wedding sampler. So this is the Token by Long Dog Samplers, and it's, I'll put a picture up of, I recolored this. The original like PDF or whatever shows it monochromatic in red, but I changed it to pink and blue, specifically fuchsia and navy, because those were my wedding colors. And this is what it would have looked like the last time I showed it to you. And this is what it looks like now. So basically I just finished out this giant pink motif. This fabric is 40 count, picture this plus fog. And my colors are both color and cotton. The blue one is called Royal Blue and the pink is called Magician. And so that's what it looks like. I guess I can move my needle minder out of the way so you can see what's under it. There we go. So I kind of want to work on this some more this weekend. Maybe put some more work into this blue motif. But that's where we're at. I only worked on this yesterday and it was like 300 something stitches, so not that much progress since I last showed you, but still progress nonetheless. And it was very satisfying to finally finish that motif there. So yeah, I do have, my goal for this project this year is just to get it to 25%. So anytime I pull it out and put work in it, we're chipping away at the goal, so. But that is how this is looking. And those are all the cross stitch projects that I worked on. All right, so now I'm gonna move into knitting. I worked on 2 projects and I made quite a bit of progress on both of them. This first one that I have here is my Advent blanket, which is, the pattern is called the Anthology Throw by Helen Stewart. And I am knitting mine with my Ruby and Roses, my 2024 Ruby and Roses Advent calendar yarn. And I didn't put a marker of where I was last time, but I think I was like halfway through this light pink section. So essentially since last time, I knit an entire 20-gram skein of this like pink berry color. And then you can kind of see on the needle or on the cable, I have my 4th color coming in, which is this one, which is a very like corally kind of color. So yeah, that is what it's looking like so far. It is very bunched up right now. So it kind of looks like a weird hat or something. I currently am, let's see, I'm knitting these on like one size down from the called for. So what is that? These are a size 5, which is a 3.75 millimeter needle. And then I have like, I think 2 8-inch cables attached to these right now. I did order a 50-inch cable. I think I'm at that point where I could put it on there because it is very bunched up on here. But I don't know when that's gonna come in. I ordered it from Wool & Co. So anyway, I was trying to avoid ordering ChiaoGoo accessories from Amazon because I've just heard that sometimes they won't send you the like actual ChiaoGoo brand. So I wasn't gonna take any chances. And Wool & Co actually also has free shipping. So even though I'm having to wait longer, like I feel like I'm definitely gonna get a ChiaoGoo product. So anyway, that is how my blanket's looking. I'm obsessed with this. The only reason I haven't been knitting on it this past week is because I'm like 5 or 6 rounds away from having to increase again, and there's no way I can increase with the size cables that I have. So I really need that 50-inch cable to come in so I can switch this over and be good to go. So anyway, it's looking great. I'm excited to move it to the new cable so it can actually spread out. I'll have to take a photo so that I can show that in my next video. But yeah, so that is my my Advent blanket. Okay, the next knitting project that I worked on is actually a new start, and it should not be a surprise because I talked about it in my last video, and this is my stripe hype sweater. I showed off all the yarn that I got to knit this in my last video, and I started it shortly thereafter, and I knit on this like a mad woman. So let me just show you what it looks like. So this is what my stripe pipe is looking like. I have the entire top back panel done, and then up at the top here is the front, top, left and right panels. And so essentially you knit the back panel and then you have to like pick up stitches to start knitting the front panels. So I did that and I connected them together. And now I'm just having to finish my stripes so that they match the stripes on the other side. So I need to finish this blue stripe, knit another cream stripe, and then knit a caramel stripe, and then I'll be able to connect all of this in the round. And something with the shoulders, or something with connecting the armholes. I don't know. I haven't read that far ahead in the pattern, but I'm so excited with how this is working up. This yarn is just beautiful. I'm obsessed. This is Paper Crane Yarns on the color Blue Velvet, and then this one is called Caramel Latte down here. And then the cream color is a Double Sunday in the color Whipped Cream. So yeah, this is how it's looking. Let's see. I don't want to get it tangled, but like, I actually have a neck hole. Like I could put my head through this. This is so cool. I'm knitting like a piece of clothing that I can freaking wear. Isn't that incredible? So anyway, got the back panel and the front top. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. This is so exciting. I just feel like it is insane that this is all literally just pieces of string that I have woven together into this fabric and I'm gonna be able to wear it. That is just so cool. And I feel like a wizard. So anyway, I am trying to weave in my ends as I go. So I've woven in all of these and all of these. I just haven't cut the tails yet because I was gonna wait until I blocked it. But all of these I still need to weave in. So anyway, trying to be responsible, not save all the weaving in for the end, but this is what my stripe pipe looks like. And I will pop up a photo here of like how all my colors are probably gonna look together. I did like a little mock-up for myself so I could visualize. And yeah, so that's how that's looking. Hopefully we'll work on this some more the next few weeks so I can have more progress to show in my next video. I don't think I'm gonna finish it before or while it's still cold outside, but that's okay. I don't care. It'll get done when it gets done, and I love it so much. Okay, so that's all of my cross stitch and knitting. I do have some haul, which is all cross stitch related haul. So let's jump right into that. Okay, so the first thing I acquired since my last video is a DMC color card. And you might be thinking, Elizabeth, why do you need that? You have a full set of DMC. And to that I would say convenience, because this is arranged in color order. My DMC collection is arranged in numerical order. So whenever I want to compare like colors of the same hue, like if I want to look at all the yellows next to each other, instead of having to pull out all the yellows out of my collection, I can just use this color card. So that's really exciting, because like we can use this for example. So like if I wanted to find a DMC that looked like Yuletide from Color and Cotton, then I could go to the greens in here and just kind of like overlay this on top of these greens to figure out which one looks the closest. And I feel like, you know, some in here look really close. It actually looks like it could match some of these brown greens in this column. So anyway, this is just going to be very helpful for color conversions, or, you know, if I want to, I don't know, if I make a color conversion but I want to share like what it's supposed to look like with DMC, it's just gonna be a very helpful tool. So anyway, I added this to my Stitchy toolbox, if you will. And then another thing that I added to my Stitchy toolbox is this. This is the Ultimate Sampler Motifs source book by a sampler company, put together by Brenda Keys. And this is a book, I can't really do a flip through because it's literally just a bunch of patterns, but I can kind of, you can kind of see, like there's just pages and pages of several different motifs. There's alphabets, borders, numbers, people, trees, there's boats in here, flowers. I saw there's like a whole page of butterflies, a whole page of cats, a whole page of dogs. There's all sorts of stuff in here, and I really wanted this again as another like resource material. So if I'm stitching a pattern that somebody else designed and I want to kind of tweak it to make it my own, I could use this to help me do that. Or if I'm designing something and I need some inspiration on how to achieve a certain look, then I could use this as inspiration as well. So anyway, I just think it's a great tool, again, to add to my Stitchy toolbox. So that is another thing that I've acquired since my last update. And then all of this was kind of sparked by, or not all of it, but the sampler motif book was something that I decided to purchase because I got that from Colorado Cross Stitcher, and Colorado Cross Stitcher also, or Cross Stitch, they started selling copies of Sally Spencer. So it does say on here, it says Birds of a Feather cross stitch, but then down here it says remastered by Sherry Berger, who is the owner of Colorado Cross Stitch. So anyway, I got a copy of Sally Spencer and I'm so excited. My friend Brijin, the museum stitcher, finished this recently, and my friend Liz from Elizabeth Can Stitch has stitched it a few years ago and finished it in a beautiful red frame. And I just love this chart. It has been out of print for a long time, so I was very excited to see that I could get a copy of it from Colorado Cross Stitch. And my friend Brijin, being the darling baby angel princess that she is, sent me her extra floss that she stitched her project with. So this is actually Vicky Clayton silk, and I've never stitched with Vicky Clayton's before. And these are so freaking soft. So anyway, I'm very excited to stitch Sally Spencer with these gorgeous silks. I've already like pulled some fabric from my stash that I feel like might be good options. Although I am very much leaning towards this Fabric Flare Cafe au lait, because I just feel like that looks really pretty. I definitely like the darker vibe, because I feel like this cream and that teal are gonna show up really well on it. But anyway, I'm not going to start this though until I finish Skipjack Sampler, because I think I have like 8 whips right now and I really would like to try to keep it that way. So yes, I'm going to wait to start this until I'm gonna wait to start this until after I finish Skipjack Sampler. So yeah, so maybe I'll start it at Stitch North. Maybe that's what I'll do. Which I'm sure, we haven't talked about it yet, but I'm sure me and my friends who are going to Stitch North will probably try to start something anyway. So I know I'm not gonna stay on 8 whips, but anything that I can do within my power to keep it that way, keep it close to that, will be great. All right, so that is all of my haul and all of my projects. So I think now it is time for plans, which again are not like anything revolutionary or new. I am gonna keep my last 2 goals for the month of February are to do, I still have 600 something stitches left on Sweetheart Campfire to finish that goal, and then I need to do 1200 stitches on Greenhouse of Oddities to meet that goal. So we have like, I don't know, February is a short month, but today's the 15th, excuse me, today's 15th, so what do we have, like 13 days left to get that done. So I think that's perfectly reasonable. And then it also leaves me time to stitch on another project if I want to, or do some knitting, or something that's not crafty at all, like playing video games. So I think we can move into what I've been up to. So really, I haven't been up to much, to be quite honest with you. I very much am enjoying the pop culture world that we're living in. I watched the Grammys, and I watched the Super Bowl, and Sabrina Carpenter came out with the deluxe version of Short and Sweet yesterday. So I'm living for the pop culture because it keeps my spirits uplifted. Because obviously there's a bunch of other stuff going on that's not as exciting, that seems like overwhelming. So I try to focus on the stuff that's making me happy. And those things are making me happy. I loved watching the Grammys. I don't really care about the actual football part of the Super Bowl, but I loved Kendrick Lamar's performance at the halftime show. It lives rent-free in my brain, and I've been like humming and singing along like basically since the Super Bowl happened. So anyway, and then like I said, Sabrina Carpenter, she came out with the deluxe version of Short and Sweet yesterday and had 5 new songs on there. One of them is a song that she already came out with, but features Dolly Parton, Please Please Please, and I'm loving it. I'm living for it. But yeah, so other than that, kind of like reading, watching, playing situation, I did finish 2 books, which I can talk about in a minute, and that's kind of it. I mean, I was playing a little bit of Stardew Valley, but nothing crazy. Probably will play some more this weekend. I have a long weekend because President's Day is on Monday, and so that's exciting. And yeah, so let's talk about the books that I read. The first one that I finished is called Shady Hollow by Juno Black, and I'll put a cover up here because I did borrow it from the library, so I don't have it with me anymore. And this is a cute little like animal themed murder mystery. So essentially Shady Hollow is like this cute little town, and there's like all sorts of animals that live here. Like there's a skunk, beavers, a panda, there's fox, several different types of birds, there's a frog, bunnies, mice, all sorts of a moose. So it's very, very cute. And anyway, essentially one of the residents of Shady Hollow gets murdered, and Miss Vera Vixen, who works at the Shady Hollow Herald, she works at the newspaper, and she's trying to kind of figure out what happened, and is kind of playing detective a little bit, trying to write several articles for the paper and figure out why this quiet, cute little town of Shady Hollow has experienced a murder. So anyway, it was a very cute book. It's pretty short. It was only like 220 pages or so. But there are several other books in this series. I can't remember what they're all called, but I do think I will try to read those as well, because it really was a very cute, cozy book, and I feel like it was very fast-paced kind of read, and it was just really cute. The next book that I read is called Dating and Dragons by Christy Boyce. This is the same author that wrote Dungeons and Drama, and it's not the same characters, but it's the same premise of like the main character, who's a girl, plays in a D&D group, and so there's a lot of D&D themed, Dungeons and Dragons themed parts to the book, but then there's also like a little romance, and it is a young adult, so it is very much like teenager pining. But it was super cute. So whereas Dungeons and Drama was like a fake dating situation, this one is almost like a forbidden love kind of thing, because her and the boy, they are in a D&D group together, but the D&D group has like a no dating rule, and so they both are crushing on each other like really hard, but they're also like, they don't want to break the rules of their group because they love playing D&D together and they love their group. So anyway, it was really cute. Honestly, I much prefer the cute like teenager pining than I do like the like fantasy smut. I'm really not into that part, but I do like the cutesy, like, oh my gosh, he likes me kind of stuff. So anyway, it's very cute. I listened to the audiobook for that, and yeah, if you also like cute little stuff like that, then that would be another great book to check out. So those are the two books that I read since the last time we chatted, and let me look at my notes because I'm going blank. Okay, so my mind went blank because that was literally all I wrote to talk about today. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed today's episode and found something that you liked, and I'm just gonna keep working on all of my crafts, and I will tell you about them in 3 weeks. So I hope you've had a great week. Hope you can have a great next week. Hope you just are well between now and when I talk to you next. And I will talk to you next time. Bye!